Hey guys, this is Chris Muck at Highline Guitars, and today I'm working on this 7-string multi-scale fan fret guitar neck. If you'll remember, I did a 3-part series on how I made this neck, and what I'm doing today is I am level sanding the lacquer that's between the frets, and I will be taking it to the buffer and polishing it up to a mirror gloss shine. So now the reason why I clear coated it with lacquer is because obviously a light colored maple fretboard is going to show a lot of dirt and it can make it difficult to clean. So if you put down lacquer first, that protects the wood and makes it much easier to clean later on, and it looks nicer. So what I did was I sprayed about 4 to 5 heavy coats of nitrocellulose over the fretboard, and that included the frets. And the reason I did that is because after I finish level sanding between it, I'll take it to the buffer and I'll buff the whole fretboard down to a mirror gloss shine. And if the buffing wheel were to hit the surface of the fret wire, it will dirty up my buffing wheel and it will leave a gray discoloration of the fretboard. So I just leave that lacquer over the top, and I'll level sand and then buff it. And then once that's done, I can mask off the fretboard and begin the process of leveling and dressing the frets. So that keeps everything nice and clean. So to level the lacquer, I'm just using some 3M 216U free cut gold sandpaper, and I'm just wrapping it around a little block of maple, and then just sanding level between the frets. And as you sand, it goes from kind of a glossy sheen. I don't know, probably you can't see that in the video, but it goes from a glossy sheen to a matte sheen. And once I take it to the buffer, it'll bring it back to a high gloss shine, but it won't have that texture and it won't have any high or low spots in it. It'll be nice and flat and smooth. So it's good to have a good light that helps you to see the surface as you're sanding it, so you can see where it's shiny and where it's dull. And what you want is you want it to be uniformly dull when you're finished sanding, right before taking it to the buffer. So. And since this paper does load up a little bit, I always keep a paper towel handy, wipe off the excess, check my progress, keep going. Okay, so this is my buffing machine that I'm going to be using to buff the fretboard, and I'll be using 2 different buffing compounds. With this wheel, I'm using Brownman-Zerna coarse compound. With this wheel, I'm using the tan fine cutting compound. And I'll start with this wheel, buff the whole thing, and then switch over to this wheel and polish it up to a gloss shine. Now, because I have a buffing machine, I can stop my level sanding at 800 grit. If you're buffing by hand or with a electric drill or whatever, it's probably a good idea to take it all the way up to 2000 grit or even higher and wet sand it. But since, like I said, since I'm using a buffing machine, I can easily stop at 800 grit and buff it up to a mirror gloss shine, and that saves a lot of time.